Hello guys, today I want to show you how to create a pixel stretch effect for any promotional video here in Adobe Photoshop. Now, when you get to Adobe Photoshop, this is my photo I'll be using for this particular tutorial. So if you have any photo, you can also use it, or any image for this kind. Now, first thing first, what you do is you pick your marquee tool, then you pick or you select the colors you want to use for this pixel stretch from the object you see. So I'll draw and pick the colors from the ladies jeans top and the inner orange color in the trouser. So afterwards, you activate your move tool, but then you just hit on Control Command J to duplicate this. Activate your move tool, then you can easily stretch the selection over the image neatly. So I'll transform it, then I'll reduce the size once again. So what you do next is you right click inside, then you set the rotation to 90 clockwise, click and then stretch it to fill the whole page, so that when we get the stretch to 360 degrees, we'll be able to cover up to the margins. So to this point, what I'll do is I'll reduce the size a bit, then you just hit on enter or you mark it. So from here, the next step is you go to filter, you go to distort, and then you pick on polar coordinate. So at the polar coordinate, I'll set my coordinate to 25%. Now you're gonna have something like this on the screen. So now to this point, what you do is you can then transform it to look like a circle, because what we have earlier was just like oval, or it was just oval shape. So to this point, what you do is that you can then transform the image, hold the corners of the transform point, and then you can easily transform the image, drag it to the portion that you want. So this is what I have now. So I'll just hit on enter, or then you just mark it. So after this point, what you do is that you can name this layer stretch so that you don't get confused with your layers. You can name this particular layer stretch. Then what you do next is, let's turn the stretch off, select the background layer, pick your brush tool or quick selection tool rather, select the subject, and then after the selection, you select and then mask the subject at the same time. So now we are selecting the subject. So the second step for this particular process is that you select and then mask the objects so that we can distort some portions out. So this is our select and mask. So in the select and mask, don't touch the smoothing, don't touch the feather, everything here is okay. So what you do is you go to output settings down here, then you click and then you open. You have the contaminate colors, so you check the contaminate colors. If yours is not checked, you make sure you check it, but I'll reduce my amount to 90%, and then I'll create a new layer for this particular effect. So I'll just hit on new, and then you hit on OK. So now this is what we're gonna have on the screen. So what I'll do next, then I'll turn on the background layer, drag on the new background layer created from the stretch effect. I'll select my stretch and then turn it on. I'll go back to the background layer and then I'll create a layer mask on that particular one. So what you do is you drag it top of the stretch and then right click inside the terminal and then select pixels of the stretch effect. Now to this point, what we're going to do is simple. We just want to brush off the portions of the image that we want to hide. So we actually want to hide some portions of the image inside the effect or outside the effect. So what you do is hold on Control Command D, then you check your foreground color. If the black is on top or down, you make sure you set it on top so that the black will hide any portions of the image you want to hide. So the next step is you move on and then you select your marks. Pick up your brush tool by pressing B on your keyboard, reduce the size, and then let's move straight to the image and brush off any portions of the image we want to hide. In my case, I want to hide this leg out, this particular side. So what I'll do is I'll take my time and then I'll just brush and hide this particular portion of the leg. inside the pixel effect. So now I'll have something like this. Yes, so I have been able to hide this particular portion, and then I think that is all that I want. So what I'll do next is I'll kind of make it look real, so we can drop some shadows down here. So by creating a new layer, then you just increase the size of your brush a bit and just give it one click, transform it, and then reduce the size to create something like a shadow. Drag it down the foot, and then you can reduce the opacity. So let's reduce the opacity, and then I think this particular portion is okay. Drag it to the seat side, and then you can easily transform it. You can just widen the shadow a bit, then reposition it well. Something like this is okay. Then let's drag the same shadow to the head side. You can bring it behind the head, transform it widely, and then reduce the size. Now turn it off and see the difference. Is it on the head? Yes, it's on the head. So what you do is you drag it down the stretch background so that it will be outside of the head. So you can now reposition it to have this effect on the head. So this is how you can basically create any stretch effect. Now if you have any promotional message you want to write on, you can just move further and write your promotional message on it. For instance, maybe something like free promo or whatever you want to write. So you can just click and then you pick your type tool, then you write inside the background, or you write on the effect, or you can further still save the effect, merge everything together, and then send it to the document you are working on. Thank you very much for watching this video.